The other thing that's important to me is that we need to renew the ban on all assault weapons. Is that, and this is going to be an uphill climb, but people, as each massacre, each tragedy occurs, more and more people start saying, let's ban all assault weapons, period. And so, I conclude on the easiest piece of gun legislation that's available to us, and that's no fly, no buy.
Oh, yeah.
If you're too dangerous to fly, for goodness sake, I don't want you to have a weapon hanging around. That doesn't make sense. And so it's in that spirit that I have proudly joined my colleagues, thank them, and all of you who are here as the panelists and mostly as citizens. You know, I conclude with this observation. Things start happening when citizens start contacting their members and they contact their family, their neighbors, where they work, where they worship, and that's when things really start taking place. And so it's happening now.
Where do you think they bought it?
How long it will take depends on factors we can't even anticipate. But thanks for coming.
If anybody is parked on the curb in front of the building, you will be towed in front of a public safety building. So if you're parked on the curb in front of the building, please move your car, otherwise it will be towed.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here in your city, Mr. Mayor, to be with my colleagues from Congress and City every day, and to be with all of you. You know, I don't think how many people know how spontaneous last Wednesday was. Tuesday night, I have a bill on domestic violence mine's in the House, and with the Republican, I might add. I don't think this is a partisan issue. I don't think it should be a partisan issue. But I was talking to Amy Klobuchar, who has the bill in the Senate, and I said it's never going to change anything. We're going to have something at Orlando, everybody's going to pray, and nothing's ever going to change. And then I told my staff they called for us to come to the floor of the House, and I said I'll be back in half an hour for my meeting. And I didn't go back for 24 hours. You know, the speech I gave on the floor is really tough. Wasn't planned. Barbara knows. You'll hear from Barbara. This is not an easy subject for me. And my mother didn't know I was giving this speech, and she's still alive. My sister didn't know I was giving that speech. And it's brought back a lot of memories for all of us. It's hard. I haven't slept much since last Wednesday, because they're all coming back. But I called my sister, who gave me this yes, and I called her, and I said, I know I normally warn you, but you told me the first time I publicly talked about it. It's my story too. And if we can keep anybody from experiencing what we went through, we have a moral responsibility to do so. So, you know, many of us, I respect the Second Amendment. You all know who I'm married to. He's a former board member of the NRA. And I'm here with two people I work with on a regular basis, being mom, and I want to, what we want to do is keep the guns out of the hands of those that shouldn't have. Terrorists, domestic abusers, and those with seriously mental ill problems. And it's very important to me to protect due process and civil liberties. I work with your mom in my community in Dearborn all the time on that. But we can't ensure that those are going to be there if you won't come to the table and talk about it. Life is complicated. It's not simple. But we cannot continue to think the violence that we're seeing, and it shouldn't take in Orlando. We are accepting a level of violence every day in domestic violence, in abuse, and in homes, in all socioeconomic backgrounds, which I'm here to show you. In Chicago, when you see the number of murders a weekend, we can protect the Second Amendment, but we can reduce violence. And that's why I'm here today. Talking about what's not easy. I'm not kidding you when I say I haven't slept for about a week. But if we don't stand up or sit down, then how are we ever going to make a difference? And we said a lot of things weren't going to change in this country until they did. And all I'm asking for is all of us to come together and keep, I hope no one ever has to go through what my siblings and I went through. And if we can get at violence in this country, then we will make these communities safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you. I'm really proud to be here with my colleagues, not just for what we're doing today, but for what we did together just a few days ago. Like the others, I went to the floor with the idea that after a half an hour, 45 minutes, the Sergeant at Arms was going to escort us all out of the House of Representatives. And there we were, 24 hours later. The important thing about that moment where we sat down on the floor of the House wasn't so much what we did, although I think it was significant. But what was important to me were the hundreds and hundreds of people who gathered outside the U.S. Capitol, and the millions upon millions of people who, through social media and on the phone, contacted one another and contacted their representatives to tell us to stand strong. That encouragement was a signal to me, something that we all know intellectually, that we experienced together when we sat down. The public is with us on this. And we can't let the loudest voices drown out the majority who feel so strongly that after another tragic event, 49 people gunned down, that we can't do more than simply offer a moment of silence. So I stayed on the floor, and then it was good for that moment of silence. Some of our colleagues couldn't take it and left the floor, and I understand that. I respect their choice. But for most of us, the choice was to honor those who had fallen, not just by a moment of silence, but to make sure that we don't follow that moment of silence with hours and days and weeks and months and years of silence.
Not going to see that on the news.
Regarding anything that we could do to stop
a picture of it.
Event from occurring. We have it within our power to take action. Will it prevent all violence? No. Could it have an effect on the next terrible event? Perhaps. What we have been proposing, and we wanted to vote on, is two bills that have broad public support. Simply making law what most Americans think is already law, and that is background checks. Making it law that background checks must be universal. And saying, as others have said, that if you're determined to be too dangerous to get on an airplane with your fellow citizens, you ought not be able to walk in to any shop and buy any gun at any time for any purpose without any question. That doesn't make any sense.
They complain that they
It makes it less than. That the public strongly believes in these two pieces of legislation and the underlying principles. I believe, and I think we all do, that a majority of Congress would support them. As the leadership of the House of Representatives, does not even allow us to vote. And that is what caused our frustration to boil over to the point that we took the extraordinary measure of saying that we're going to sit down on the floor of the House of Representatives to get the attention of the American people. And I will tell you, based on the response that we got then, and for what I see right in this room, we succeeded. It's up to us now to make sure that that moment does not pass, and that we make sure we translate into action. It's up to us, not meaning us. It's up to all of us. So with that, thank you so much.
I want to thank everyone who's here today, including my state reps who showed up, Jeremy Lawson, and ladies and gentlemen, what you witnessed, and John Lewis was so clear in telling us that we stand on the floor was civil disobedience. And he said there has not been change in our country without the presence of civil disobedience. The people in America, we've had enough. And let me tell you what drove the passion for us to sit on that floor. Every time there's a mass shooting, and I've been in Congress a year and a half, multiple times they hit the gavel and say, everyone rise for a moment of silence, and it's quiet, and we bow our heads and we reflect and pray, and then they hit the gavel and it's business as usual. How many times are we going to bow our heads? And there were so many amazing speeches given that night. But one of the things that stuck with me, yes, we must pray, but then you must move your feet and do something. For all the groups that stood outside, and you know, we were on the floor and we're sitting there, and every now and then we'll get up and stretch, and Nancy Pelosi would say, go outside because they're supporting us. And we would go outside and we heard chants like, this is what democracy looks like. We heard the chant, no fly, no buy. And the crowd was growing. And just so that you can get a sense of it, we got 20 pieces delivered to us, and it said from the citizens of California, we support you. The senators were sending over care boxes, stand your ground, stay focused, and keep fighting. I can't tell you, we are coming home to almost a hero's welcome, where people are so proud, finally. Moms, you've been on the battlefield. So many of us been out there fighting. We have finally come together and said, enough. Every single night, everyone in this room, we share the media where we see shootings and deaths on a regular, daily basis. And the mass shootings kind of awaken us of the crisis. But we're living through the crisis that every single day, guns are being used to take lives on the street. These are young people. These are family members that are losing their loved ones and the potential that person who is now dead as a result of gun violence. Now, I just want to say common sense gun control. And I want the media to reflect that this is not a move to take guns away from any law-abiding citizen in America.
Not what he just said. That's not what he just said. 7.5 years they haven't taken any guns away yet.
This legislation, let me repeat it, is not about taking away anyone's right to own a gun. I sat on that floor, and I'm 100% behind this legislation, but I would never stand with anyone saying that you don't have a right as an American based on our Constitution to own a gun. But we know there is a crisis in America, and we must step up. When we had automobiles without car seats and people were being killed in an automobile accident, what did we do? We passed laws that you must wear a seatbelt to protect life. When babies were being propelled in car accidents, we now say you must put your child in a seatbelt. In America today, the data is clear. We kill more people with guns in America than we have in war. We must have common sense gun control and stop diluting the issue by talking about taking away your guns, because that's not what this is about. In all of this debate about no fly, no buy, the discussion has been on the guns. I have not had a single person, Republican or otherwise, to say, we want to stop the no-fly part. They're comfortable saying you cannot get on a plane if you are identified on the terrorist list. But it's okay for you to buy a gun. You sent all of us to Congress to legislate. We can't legislate if you don't bring the bill forward. Are you a coward? Are you afraid? What is it? Bring it forward. Our Constitution doesn't belong to a Democrat or to a Republican. It was two philosophies, fighting it out, coming together, and grinding it out. And we have some of the best laws and policies that the world envies. Do your job. Bring it forward. Let's debate. How do we manage if someone's on the no-fly list erroneously? All of us have seen or been a victim of identity fraud. There's a process for us to mitigate through that. Let's talk about that. How do we make sure that people are not on that list wrongfully, but do the job? I'm so proud to have been a part of